All right, testing, testing. Can somebody hear me out there? There we go. Okay. I think we're back. Well, I do apologize for that. The internet just went down, I guess, in the entire area for a bit, but it appears that we are back. I told the players to just sit still for a minute while I tried to see if it was going to come back or not. This is where we're at. None of the balls have been disturbed. There was a couple of shots when the stream was going up and down. And so this is where we're at. Score is still 3-0. Proceed.
Play ball. Oh my God, I don't know where we left it.
All right. I do apologize for that. I just happened to start looking at my streaming software and saw that just everything was going to crap, and it wasn't getting any better. So I'm no longer streaming on Facebook, however, because I decided to just go ahead and just start streaming straight to YouTube for this. Oh, wow. Carly just fired that ball into the pocket. Okay, let's see here. I am at least going to share the stream back onto Facebook.
Oh, that's tight.
All right, so hopefully everything stays stable at this point. I always still like to do a quick sound check whenever I do go live. So please, if someone can hear, let me know how everything sounds. Oh, what a bank shot from Brian. Let's go ahead and do a highlight of that. Or maybe not. I don't have the replay set up since I had to restart everything. Okay, yeah. Duggar, I see that you're out there. Thank you so much for letting me know. Everything looks great. Everything sounds great. Okay, we are back in business. We are back in business. That is so annoying though to have that happen for a live stream. Ryan looking really good here though. Little close to his work here though on this 10 ball. Yeah, no caching issues on my end, Duggar. All I kept doing was just running speed test after speed test after speed test, and saw that my upload rate was atrocious. Like it wasn't even at like 2 megabits per second. which would be because of my internet service provider. And unfortunately, I have no control over that.
Yeah, no,
All I can do is just wait and see if the bandwidth is going to improve, and then shortly after it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the short race like that, I don't need to really remember, but 5 or more.
Yeah. Everything starts blending together.
Pretty much. Now, if you're alternate breaks and you don't like it, I mean, whatever break.
Yeah.
So more than likely, I'm going to have to take the first part of the stream and then splice it together with this stream in order to post it as a separate video. All right, Brian on the hill. We are playing a race to 5 best of 3 sets in 10 ball. Yeah, Shauna, thank you for coming back. Had some internet issues. Nothing that I can really resolve on my end. It's all provided by my internet service provider. And hopefully everything is stable now. Just have to wait and see as the stream goes on. It was almost pretty close to having to reschedule the match. But we'll see how the internet decides to behave for the remainder of the match.
I think there was one night it was, yeah, I can move the rack. Proceeded to move all 3 balls over. What I thought was.
Y'all play with triplets at skinny balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good try there by Carly. She might get a little fortunate and hide behind that 10 ball, and she does. Looks like Brian might be looking at a 2-rail kick here, or maybe a 1-rail kick. I don't think the 2-rail is possible from the angle that he's coming from. Never mind, I got proven wrong. Nicely done there.
Yeah, you're good. I don't ever get mad at anybody playing safe and whatnot. That's part of the game. I actually encourage it because it makes me play better because it forces me to focus on the game to get that hit.
Carly's got her work cut out for her trying to be able to hit this 1 ball.
Yeah. For now.
Oh, what a hit!
Safe.
Oh, so I did call safe.
What a hit! And leaves the cue ball safe at the same time. Let's see if I can do an instant replay of that. Look at this, coming off of 1 rail, clips the 1 ball on the side. Cue ball catches a rail to make it a legal hit, and then hides the cue ball behind the 9 and the 10.
That's the old school way. Well, yeah, I jump cues. Efren and Earl, Earl can't jump cues. I wanna meet Earl and like feel his like playing cues. That thing is thick, man.
Yeah.
Trust safe.
Okay,
Brian unsuccessful at making a legal hit with the 1 ball. Carly will have ball in hand. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a great opportunity to try to 3-foul Brian. I would more than likely be putting my cue ball like maybe somewhere right around here. Shoot the 1 into the 9 so that way they kind of just split apart like this. And then tuck my cue ball right into these 3 balls here. That would more than likely put Brian on 2. And then after that, I'm not sure because it would all just depend on where the 1 ball might end up after caroming off of the 9 ball. But it looks like Carly's trying to find a spot to where she can actually play the 1 ball. Oh, unsuccessful at making the ball, but it looks like she might have hooked him behind the 2. And with that, Brian is on 2.
Fouls for 3-foul rule?
Now, I don't know if Carly warned him if he's on 2, because that is a standard rule for a 3-foul. You have to warn your opponent that they're on their second consecutive foul.
Like I said, it's
If Carly attempts to go for a 3-foul victory, this would be done by, playing the 1 ball into the corner pocket and getting position on the 2 in such a way to where she can just shoot the 2 to a rail and try to hide the cue ball behind the 3 and the 4 and see if Brian can get a legal hit, because if he fails to on the 3rd consecutive foul, Carly would win the rack. Absolutely, Duggar. Like I said, I let them know what was going on. I gave them their options of I can try to wait and see if the internet will restore itself and we can resume the stream, or otherwise we'd have to just reschedule the entire match and we can resume from there. And as you can see, Carly does try to attempt to go for another safety there, but unsuccessful. So she is on foul 1, and then Brian's on foul 2. Now, even though Brian has ball in hand, he can still foul here. And as long as Carly warned him of his second foul, he could still lose the rack if he happens to foul here. But that's less than likely. Oh, no, and he took the shot for granted and was unsuccessful at making it into the side pocket. But still want to talk about this, though, because players were fine with either choice. They did want to go ahead and wait to see if the internet was going to be restored, and here we are. Okay, so Brian is now on a clean slate when it comes to the foul count. Carly is still sitting on 1 at the moment. We have called the side pocket. The cue ball is more than likely going to go around that 5 ball. There we go. I can't tell if the 3 ball is frozen to the 4 ball or not. Oh, I don't think that was intentional. So Brian now gets to come to the table and decide if he wants to shoot this shot or give it back to Carly. So interestingly enough, he's going to go ahead and take the shot on. Good hit. So I want to say thanks to the viewers that came back and that are continuing to watch the match here. There's really nothing I can do if the internet decides to not work, since I'm heavily reliant on that to be able to put on this exhibition match for everybody. So thank you so much for coming back. Okay, good shot on the 3-ball. We got a nice long shot here on the 4-ball. I don't know if we're going to attempt to play a 4-9-10 combination. It looks pretty on. As soft as she hit that, that's definitely looking at trying to play a safety. I don't know if she got it or not. I can't tell if the 10-ball is blocking the 4. Yeah, exactly, Trevor. Exactly. You know, when you're relying on technology for basically anything, what do you do when it doesn't work? All right, so Brian was able to see the 4-ball, almost back cuts it into the corner pocket there. What an attempt.
But half the shot.
This looks like this is going to leave a bank shot here for Carly. Wouldn't hold it against her if she decided to take this on. The cue ball is automatically going to come off of the side rail here and come down this way to where she'll have position for the 5-ball here into the corner pocket. But banks this just a little too wide. Going to get a nice little distance safety here on the 4-ball. Oh no! So with this scratch,
No,
what is
I had
Carly
to
going
do
to
it, then I
do?
made it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was,
We were talking about the one some play where you have to, and then
it just stays.
Yeah.
That's right.
even if you make a legal hit.
That's like one roll I can
Okay, Carly decides to keep it simple. Got a rather long shot on the 5-ball here. Good shot. 22 Stewart. This is now my 4th exhibition match that I've done. I started this series with myself playing up against my buddy and league BCA league director. We played a race to 30 with 9-ball, 9 on the spot, and then I had two other exhibition matches where I had 2 500 Fargo rated players play up against each other. So I do plan on having others, but only at the expense of the players setting up the matches. Like I said, I try to keep these matches to where I'm doing them once a month. Occasionally, I might try to sneak in another one.
Too bad.
Yeah, my bench.
But I basically want to give players an opportunity to be able to come on a live stream and play, regardless of their skill set, so long as they're comfortable at doing so. And I would prefer that the matches be rather close. So as you can see, there's only a 30-point Fargo difference between the two here. So I think that's relatively okay for them to be able to play against one another. Yeah, the only thing I have to worry about now when I'm doing these live streams is the reliability of my internet. This match has already been cut in half into two live streams, and there's actually a couple of shots that are actually missing because when I realized that the first stream was unrecoverable, they'd already shot like maybe 3 or 4 balls. I had to go tell them to stop for a minute while I tried to wait and see if the internet was going to get restored, and then now here we are. If this ends up being a reoccurring problem, I'm going to have to come up with some other alternative, like maybe just recording the entire match in a kind of live stream format where there's commentary and stuff and still drawings to be able to illustrate what's happening on the table and then just post it as a video. Good shot by Carly. Carly has a chance now to get on the board. Oh, but hits it just a little too thick.
Do it. I was like, hey, even if I did make that 10, I just spotted it then right there, so I probably screwed myself. So I should just kind of went around and shot the 10.
Yeah.
Now, this ain't any easier because as a right-handed player, it requires you to stretch. So Brian definitely elects to take the bridge out for this one. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, and Brian avoids the scratch. So Brian is going to take the first set 5-0. Let me go check and see on if the players want to take a small little break.
Relive for the next one.
Yeah.
Just some.
Yeah.
All right. So exciting conclusion there.
Yeah.
Carly, you almost had a chance to get on the board, unfortunately, with that 10 ball. Are y'all going to want to take a small little break before you start the second set?
No, I just need some more water.
Okay, then yeah, I'll keep the stream busy. Everything seems to be stable right now, and then y'all can just resume back into the second set.
Yeah. Oh, she said, stop shooting so fast. She said, oh my God, why are you making my butt fuck? I didn't pull your ball out because I didn't know if you wanted a certain ball or lagging or whatnot. So.
You're good.
I'll pick my break. You would do that.
I love when you do that and it's like, you hear that think and it's like,
Well, no, because luckily this one it's got a different grip
Oh,
on it,
yeah.
so I can really tell that it's not the right one.
All right, y'all ready to go? Yeah. Proceed.
All right. Did it further this time?
All right, so let me reset the
Might still be smoothed
scoreboard
up.
here.
Oh.
You probably. It's all you.
And I'm going to put a little asterisk over by Brian's name to indicate that he has won the first set. All right, and we are underway with the second set. And it looks like the 3-ball might be stopped on the template rack, so they're going to elect to leave it there. It's typical that in situations like this that the players would just go ahead and agree that you just pick up the 3-ball slightly and then move the rack out of the way and just place the 3-ball back down.
Wow. Last round with Liz and the guy she played, they're talking about how he couldn't really make anything. They 5 years. Yeah, that's one. Nope.
Brian hitting that 1 ball just a little too flat right into the short rail. What happens here is if Brian were to win this set here, that would be the end of the match. If Carly were to pull off this match here, then we would go into a tie-breaking third set.
My stomach's been doing it too. You're good.
Even though I ate.
Carly electing to play a safety here. This is looking pretty good.
It did it, and then I saw her go.
I don't know if y'all understand like how difficult it was to actually do what Carly did there. To just be able to bank the 1 ball back to the other end of the table without double kissing onto the cue ball and then leaving them at one end of the table from each other. That was really well done. Okay, Brian looks like he's calling the lower right corner pocket.
Oh, wow. I didn't think I hit
That's
that.
the ball a bit too much for the bank there.
Googly move.
With all the balls being down here at the end of the table, it's rather difficult that the object ball could land in a spot where it could be easily made. But it does look like Carly does have a path to the lower left corner pocket. Let's watch how the cue ball is most likely going to run into that green 6. I don't know where it's going to go after that. Oh, barely missing the 6-ball.
Good news. I think the 3's off.
3-ball gets jarred by the template rack there, so now they're going to move it. Looks like Brian might have gotten a little bit of a safety there. I can't tell how much of the purple 5 ball, these are the Aramith black ball set, how much the
So that's
purple
the most
5 might
great
be blocking the cue ball
safety
from the 1. Oh, good attempt there. Looks like we hit it just a little too straight.
That's do.
This is looking pretty good. Where's the cue ball going? All right, we get a lucky drop on the 7 ball as well. We can at least see the 2 ball, but I would be more than willing to bet that Brian probably wanted to have like some sort of setup to play possibly like the 2-7 combination and not be on the short side of the 2 ball.
Oh, that's it though.
Now, I do believe that was an attempt at either the 9 ball or the 10 ball there. But we get a little fortunate that we're actually hooked behind the 4 ball now. Carly's got her work cut out for her if she's going to be able to hit this 2 ball. I don't know if she has enough to where she can maybe reach either here or here without touching the 8 ball or touching the 6 ball, just to have a chance at being able to hit the 2 ball, let alone make the 2 ball. Oh, what a hit. Don't scratch, though. Oh, no. That was such a good attempt. All right, with ball in hand, Brian's electing to roll the 2 ball into the bottom right corner pocket. He's going to allow his cue ball to just follow forward. Oh, but he shoots it right into the side rail. You can see with the way he had the cue ball follow forward, he has position for the 3 in the lower left. And more than likely, that means he would play position for the 4 to go into the right side pocket. Now, with that miss, though, we do get a fortunate leave, as it doesn't look like Carly has really any shot that she can take on by making the 2 ball. She can at least see the 2 ball for a hit and might have to come up with some sort of safety. She decides to play this softly. I'd be more than willing to bet she wanted her cue ball to actually come more down this way. So that way there's not really a shot that Brian would have. Like right now, he has the 2 ball into the side pocket.
We see where this
Oh, just a bit of an undercut. Okay, good hit. Can't tell if we got a safety out of that or not. It looks like Brian might be able to see past the 8 ball, go in between the 4 and the 6 to make a hit on the 2. Maybe not. Looks like he's kicking to the side rail. Okay, that'll be ball in hand for Carly. So just like with Brian, we've got a rather straight in shot so that way we can allow the cue ball to roll forward. So we'll have some sort of position on the 3 ball. So do you go for the bank? Do you attempt to play safe? Carly's going to go for the bank. How's it looking? How's it looking? What a shot!
Now I get to do another one.
What a shot. Let's see that again. Look at this bank shot on the 3 ball. Nicely done. And it's looking like we're going to have to bank maybe the 4 ball too. Let's see.
Oh, way off.
I do believe that's what she was trying, but this time she banks just a little too wide.
I think you can see this one.
Seeing it and making it 2
That's true.
different. Go left.
All right, so Carly thinks that she can see past the 6 ball here. Oh, not quite. Just a little too thick. I believe, if I remember correctly, you would be correct, 22 Stewart, that her APA skill level I think is a 4. We haven't played APA in a number of years now since we moved. Oops,
Oh.
just a little too thin. Try to cut the paint off that 4 ball.
Okay.
That last adjustment, I probably shouldn't be.
All lower levels. Actually standing up and pretty steady.
Okay, Brian's taking his time trying to figure out how he's going to map his route going from the 4 to the 5. This angle here is cue ball would likely go to the side rail unless he's going to stun over. There's the side rail. Looks like he was trying to stay on what would be our right side of the 8 ball, but I don't think he spun the cue ball enough. It looks like the 8 ball might be blocking. Okay, not enough. Not blocking enough. Able to make a legal hit. Just plays a basic containing safety. Containing safety is to where the player basically just can't shoot the object ball straight into a pocket somewhere. They have to do like some sort of bank shot, or you know the shot is like really, really difficult. Carly was definitely trying to bank the 5 ball down to the other end of the table and hold the cue ball here, which she did nicely. Just not enough momentum transferred into the 5 ball to get to the other end of the table. Okay, Carly now with an opportunity here. The 6 ball is a little
the only
tricky.
one I can hit.
I don't know if you would want to set up for the 6-9 combination, because if she has the correct angle, then she can allow her cue ball to roll past the 6 like this. So that way she can take the 6 ball down into this corner pocket here. But the angle's not there. Yeah, so she's going to have to go for the 6-9 combination. With the 6 ball being off the rail and the 9 ball being on the rail, she's going to have to be very careful at knowing where the 6 ball might end up after, because it's going to come slightly off the rail if she's successful at making this combo. See, even without making the combo, notice how the 6 ball comes off of the rail. It's very important that players would know that, so that way they would know or have some idea that they're going to have a shot at the 6 afterwards. Oh, Brian definitely able to see enough of the ball there, but hits it just a little too thick into the short rail. Checking both corner pockets here. So it looks like she likes the top left corner pocket. Okay, good shot there. Probably could have used just a bit more pace. You can see how the cue ball naturally 2 rails around to the corner there. So that way the 8 ball can be set up either for this corner pocket or this side pocket, depending upon the pace that she hit the last ball. So with going over here that she's measuring up for, the cue ball is naturally going to want to come down here. Right, so she can't hit this soft enough to where she can play the 9 ball into this corner pocket. That just wouldn't be possible. She probably I can't tell if the 9 ball passes by the 10 ball to go here. But now you can see that she's looking at this corner pocket. And so she's going to have to be careful because of that. It should hopefully go right above the side pocket if she tries to float the 8 ball in. Yeah, just like this. A little friendly bump, maybe? Not quite.
I was aiming to go around the 9.
Oh, okay.
But then I saw the 8 still going. I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. This shot is not as easy as it looks. Got to be able to scoot past that 10 ball and hold the cue ball at the same time. Nicely done. Oh no!
What?
What did I say before? You can't touch the rails before the pocket. And Brian did scrape the short rail right before the corner pocket. It catches the jaw facing and then just sits there and bobbles. Carly with an opportunity to get on the board. Oh no, she's going to have to shoot with the bridge. Probably checking to see if the 10 ball is sticking out enough past the point. So that way, hopefully she can kind of just aim the center of the cue ball right at the point to be able to knock it in. Gently rolls it down there.
Please don't do it. Oh my God.
Just points the scratch. Oh my goodness, but with that 10 ball, Carly is on the board.
Dead center. And I think it's speed.
Yep, Trevor, that is absolutely brutal. I can't begin to tell you how many straight pull runs have ended because of shots like that. And like I said, I've admitted that I'm spoiled on even other diamond tables though, to where, and other tables in general, to where you are permitted to graze the rail at the appropriate angle, and it would still find its way into the pocket. No 22 Stewart. These pockets are not 3 3/4. These are actually standard pro cut pockets. 4.5 inches at the corners, 5 inches at the side pocket. I've been wondering, even my 8-foot diamond table wasn't this brutal. Because I can look at a lot of my old videos and see where there are shots where I catch the rail before the pocket, and then the ball would still go in. Once I got this new table set up, it's been a completely different story. And as frustrating as it is, though, all I've been trying to do is just work through it. It's forcing me to try to play a whole lot better, so that way I can try to play a whole lot more accurate. And then that allows me the liberty of, when I'm playing on not as difficult tables, if the ball hits the rail and still goes in, I'm thankful. But then I just think to myself in my head, that would not have gone on my home table. Look at this 2-ball. Not quite.
I feel like I was more when I qualified for singles that one year. I was more stressed in regionals than I was in Vegas.
Really?
I was like, I made it.
Well, yeah.
Let's see. Brian's got to be thinking some sort of safety here. Yeah, I think I would only suggest that you hit that just a whole lot softer. You see how both the 1 ball and the cue ball go to separate sides of the 3 and the 4. All right, so you play that to your advantage, to where you want the cue ball to stop on what would be our right side of the 3 and the 4, and you'd want the 1 ball to be somewhere on the left, where hopefully the 3 or the 4 blocks the path. Okay, good shot. Don't find the corner pocket, though. Oh, this time it does scratch. Hit that one just a little too hard.
Nothing.
right, this is a good transition from the 2 to the 3. It looks like Brian's on the underside of the shot line to the 3 ball, so the cue ball should be going to the short rail and coming back up for position on the 4. The question is which pocket. Looks like we're going to be going to the same pocket. Now, what about the 5 ball? Has he already got a plan for it? Because he's gotten down really quickly on the 4 ball. Well, that's one way to take care of the 5 ball. But with that, like I said, Carly has an option. She can attempt to take the shot on, which most likely she will. But she does have the option to give the shot back to Brian because a non-called ball found its way to a pocket. Whereas in 9 ball, Brian would still be shooting. Oh, that was such a good shot. So we might be seeing a 6-7 combination.
7 ball in the corner.
So this is where you can see the difference in skill level, right? Because Carly elected to just roll the ball and allow the cue ball to come down table for this 6-7 combination. As you move up in the skill level ladder, then what you'd most likely see is that a player would try to allow the cue ball to go down table and come back up and play position for the 6 on the side. That way they don't have to worry about playing the combo.
Yeah. Good position to get to the 8.
Yeah. No shot.
Really good shot there from Carly. Needed a couple more inches out of the cue ball there to make the shot on the 7 a little bit easier. I don't think this is cuttable. This is where what you would really want to do is you just go ahead and hit this thin, not to the point where you're trying to cut it into the pocket, but it's going to hit the rail like this and bounce over here. And then you want your cue ball to just kind of zigzag its way back up table. Yeah, kind of like this, but we need the cue ball moved a whole lot more in a thinner hit on the 7 ball. Ooh, elevated shot here. Going to try to draw the cue ball back. What a shot there. Nicely done. Look at that. Oh, looks like we did miss the shot on the 8 ball. Can Carly see past the 9? Looks like she's going to step on the dog. Oh no, that was such a good shot. Too much momentum, and the cue ball follows the 8 ball in for the scratch. Okay, nicely done. Using the rail to kind of break the cue ball. And you don't also have to worry about scratching, right? You give yourself just a little angle so that way you can avoid scratching. Now he has an angle here, and I'm sure he's already thinking about the last 10 ball where he caught the rail before the pocket. Let's see if he adjusts for that. You see what I mean? This time he caught the rail thicker though. And so by doing so, that at least protects the 10 ball because now it's just going to bank out towards the middle of the table here.
And that's what's going to be fun is looking back at the stream.
Yeah.
Now, I would not hold it against Carly if she decides to bank this 10 ball into the top left corner pocket.
Should use the bridge.
Yep, she's calling it. This is a shallow bank. You got to hit this kind of firm so that way you hopefully take out the side rail from coming into play. But too firm and you end up shortening it so much that you end up just going right into the short rail. Oh my gosh, that was such a good attempt. But at least the 10 ball does wiggle out of the corner pocket, making it a difficult shot for Brian.
Same pocket.
So one could say, when it comes to that 10 ball bank, you can either try to hit it slightly softer, and that's going to allow the outbound angle to open up a little bit, and that might have allowed it to go in. Otherwise, you have to try to cut it just a little bit more, which will create a wider angle. Or you throw a little bit of left spin on the cue ball, so that way you can transfer a little right spin into the 10 ball. There's 3 possible corrections that could have been done on that shot. And with that 10 ball, Brian takes down. We are all tied up.
Yeah, because you're still
1
the
to
odds
1.
this time. I saw the 10, like...
In this alternating break format, Brian did start the set off, so this is his break.
From where I'm sitting, when it go down, I was like, look like straight, and then it hit the thing, and it's down, like, okay.
I saw it, and then once I saw him in the...
Eric Croft, good to see you here, man.
Ooh.
Okay, Brian breaks dry. Almost made the 2 ball. Corner balls are very natural to go 4 rails around the table and fall into their respective corner pockets. This looks like a good safety. I think Brian definitely has to go to the left side rail to make contact. I don't think you'd want to attempt to swerve in between the 3 and the 6. That's much harder. Brian's looking at the right side rail. What a hit. What a shot. Holy cow, what a shot.
Two of the same one.
How'd he hit it? How did he hit it? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like he took down the 2 ball. Oh, just a little too hard. You can tell that she wanted to hide the cue ball behind the 5 and the 8. Hey, good shot down the rail there. Looks like we do have position for the 4 to go into the lower right. Hopefully the template rack doesn't come into play here. Nicely done. More than likely move the template rack now. 5 can go into the right side pocket. We can see here that 7 ball's looking a little tricky. Oh, but just a bit of an overcut with the 5 ball. And we do have a shot for Carly. Okay, so this is good planning ahead. Carly's probably thinking about playing a stop shot, so she wanted to check to see if the 6 ball passes by the 9 and the 7 to go into the lower right corner pocket. Ooh, there's the 1 in 25. There's the 1 in 25 where the ball or the pocket actually accepts the ball. Now, even if you're successful at making the 6 ball, what happens with the 7? Uh-oh, avoid the scratch. Avoid the scratch. Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
Well, I don't even see a possible safety at this. So I definitely wouldn't hold it against Brian if he tries to bank the 6 back at the corner pocket, which the cue ball is sitting at. You'll definitely open up the 7 and the 9 from there. Unless he's point hooked. So he must be point hooked. We're going to try to kick underneath the 6, but unsuccessful. Didn't leave it half bad though. Carly's gonna have to try to squeeze the 6 ball behind the 8 ball, underneath the 8 ball per se. So you probably try to go into the point. So that way, after it rebounds off the point, it goes off of the 8 and then goes into the pocket. The problem with that though is, will the 8 ball tie up with the 9 ball? Oh, never mind. She was able to get it right in there. Good shot there. Now here, the question is going to be is if you hit this thin enough to go in, can you get your cue ball to do this without touching the 9 ball? So that way you can shoot the 9 ball into the same pocket. This is going to require a little bit of left spin. Oh, but we do get a bump. Kind of a friendly bump there. As far as I know, cue ball control, they can hear me, but it's kind of muffled. I've got some soundproof blankets on my walls here that it has at least improved how I might sound from out there. I'm working on trying to make it better. I don't think there'll ever be a point to where I can completely soundproof this room unless I'm going to install insulation in the walls, which I currently do not want to do because I still have wires and cablings that I run through the walls in order to come into the office here and connect to the computer. But I have another blanket hanging outside of my office door that should be helping. And I do have plans on putting up another blanket on the inside of the door that'll hopefully help a little bit more. That's also why I'm trying to talk rather quietly. But tests that I've already done under these conditions, you can be slightly heard out there. Oh no! That one there is because you catch too far on the outside jaw of the pocket. I actually explained that to Brian prior to the match about how you can't rail the ball in, and if you catch too far on the outside jaw of the pocket, the ball will just bobble the way that it just did. I mean, like I said, it just requires you to be so much more precise. Oh, did we get a double kiss? Not quite.
How does a double kiss and not go in?
Like I said, these pockets are not forgiving at all. Oh, that's so unfortunate. And with that 10 ball, Brian takes the lead 2-1.
I like it bobbled, and then I was like, oh, she missed it, and then it flipped. I was like, oh, it's gonna go in, and then it didn't go in. I'm like, really?
I'm like
She hasn't messaged me about it.
after the stream, we're gonna get 30. Everything's in draft. I don't even hear the AC.
Yeah.
Trevor, I know a couple of 450s and 550 players that can probably match up with you.
It's my favorite game when it's like wrapped around. It's like, dang, who wrapped it?
Yeah. Oh wait, never mind. That was
Look at
me.
mirror.
It was my evil twin. Oh man.
Brian going for a
Well, if I
safety.
can
We
get
got to get a
there.
rail, though.
And no, nothing
Oh,
left.
there was no rail contact after hitting the
That's a
object
big
ball
win.
first. So Carly has ball in hand.
Anything that can go wrong in a
Yeah,
win.
right. Yeah.
Now, with the 2 ball being at the other end of the table, you're clearly going to want to have some sort of an angle here, so that way we have a better chance at trying to get the cue ball back down towards the other end of the table for a shot at the 2.
Better than
I definitely don't know if I'd be at least putting myself at an angle where I have to bridge over a couple of balls. She does this very well. Got a thin back cut shot on the 2 ball.
Was the 2 ball?
I'm just glad I didn't get stuck.
I think the cue ball might be heading over by that 8 ball. Yeah, kind of like that. Nicely done. We got a shot at the 3 to go into the left side pocket. Oh, good movement out of the cue ball. I don't know if the 4 is makeable in the side. It's really close to that 10 ball. Okay, Carly's going to elect to bank the ball to the upper right corner pocket. That should eliminate the possibility of hitting the 10 ball first. Oh my God, what a shot! Holy cow! Definitely worthy of a highlight. Look at that, cross banking the 4 ball into the upper right corner pocket with position on the 6. You can't do that any better. Holy cow. Oh, slow down. Gotta get better control of your cue ball. This works though. We can see the 6. Problem is that if you just cut this in, cue ball is just gonna want to do this. It's gonna go to the rail. It's gonna start coming back over here, and it's likely that it could end up behind the 9 ball. See what I mean? Little friendly bump there. This is looking good. Yeah, Carly checking the tangent line. She should be safe from the scratch. 8 ball sitting right past the side pocket. I think the cue ball is going to run into the 9 if she cuts this in. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh, not quite. Look at that. That was actually a really good run. Really good run.
Yeah.
Oh, nice rail for a shot. Coming down on short side position for the 8 ball. Yeah, like I said, I'm doing my best to try to soundproof the room as much as possible. I don't think I'll get it to the point to where I'm completely soundproofed without putting insulation into the walls here. So if you're on the outside of the room, you have to like really bear down and listen to actually make out what I'm saying, because it is at least muffled pretty well. Typically, I would recommend the players have earbuds in and like listening to music, because then they wouldn't be able to hear me at all. But as time goes by, I keep adding more and more stuff in my office that hopefully reduces the sound. I had mentioned before that I do have a blanket that's on the outside of the office door, and so I'm going to put another blanket on the inside of the office door to hopefully help reduce the sound a little bit more. Oh, we're starting to get... Carly's getting so much better. Balls are making their way closer and closer to the pockets. Cue ball's getting a little bit better as well. Not quite the draw shot that he was looking for. Definitely wanted another foot or two out of that cue ball. Ooh. If he undercuts this 10 ball. Yeah, that 10 ball is in kind of a sweet spot there, where I think both corner pockets are pretty dangerous. So he called the bottom right. A little bit of an undercut there. Cue ball is at least protected being on the end rail like that. This shot here is not easy at all. Yeah, it's very difficult to be able to cue at a ball that's roughly straight in. I mean, it wasn't completely straight in, but pretty flat. Cue ball's on the rail. You only have access to the top portion of the cue ball. Very difficult shot. Now, here we are on the 50-yard line of whether or not do you cut it to the left side pocket or do you try to bank it to the right side pocket. The original Godfather, watching from Winona, Missouri. Thank you so much for being here. Do try to go for the bank. Oh, and the 10 ball could not have sat any prettier. I don't even think you can kick to the short rail to try to cut it in. Now, if the cue ball were, say, like right here, then you basically shoot straight at the 10 ball with draw. So that way you try to just slam bank it over to this pocket, and that's what she's going to call. I don't think the cue ball is at a favorable angle to do this. Let's see if she proves me wrong. Got a lot of bottom spin on the cue ball. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I do believe that was a very likely result from the angle at which she had on that shot.
Wow, I put so much right on that.
Definitely probably trying to go for the bank in the upper left corner pocket. Leaves a, call this like an intermediate shot for Carly. Uh-oh, bit of a stretch here. Going to get the bridge or are we going to get the extension? We are going to shoot with the bridge. Okay. Do not touch the short rail. There we go. What a shot. Carly doesn't want the cue ball to go to the corner pocket. We are all tied back up. This is game number 5. It should be Brian's break. Or rack number 5. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves out there. I got to keep continuing to thank the players and commend them for wanting to be able to play on stream even at their skill level. I do encourage players of this skill level, of any skill level, that would want to be able to come and play on a live stream in front of a audience that is across the world to be able to show off what they can do. Hopefully I'm providing enough commentary that is going to be both educational to the viewers as well as the players. It was a bit unfortunate that we had a little bit of an internet outage for this match here, though, so this stream is broken up into 2 parts. More than likely, what I'm going to end up doing is taking those 2 streams and combining them into a separate video, and then just reposting that later. All right, rack 5 underway. Looks like we got a bit of a dry break here. Transition from the 1 to the 2 is not a piece of cake. Let's see if Carly's going to be able to maybe do something like this, where you got to get the cue ball to here, spin in between the 4 and the 5, come all the way back over here to catch this rail, and then maybe get position on the 2. So it looks like she might be just trying to roll the ball, so I would expect her cue ball to maybe end up somewhere over here after it comes off the short rail. Nope, there we go. Oh, but just a little too wide, even if she would have made the 1 ball. That was not an easy shot. Oh, Brian, unsuccessful at making the 1 ball, but does drop the 4. So far, we have not seen where the player would give the shot back to the opponent. In this case here, it's at least understandable. I do wonder if Carly's going to elect to play a safety here. That is what she's trying to do. Oh, but did the cue ball and the 1 ball end up right in the window? Looks like it might have. Absolutely, David. Thank you so much. Just a bit of an overcut. All right, so Carly's got to cut this 1 ball in. And cue ball is going to be coming off the side rail and heading towards the 2 and the 3. And so you're more than likely going to want to get on the other side of the 2 ball, in my opinion. Yeah, so a little thick on the hit there. So had she hit it thin enough, there would be less momentum taken off of the cue ball, and the cue ball would be a whole lot closer to that 2 ball. So that's where I think it's likely that she should have attempted to hit it just a little bit harder, so that way we can get to the other side of the 2 ball. Hey, Brian looking good here. Bit of a back cut there on the 3 ball. Cue ball's going to be heading towards the 7 ball here unless he pulls it back with enough draw to avoid the 7. That's what he tried to do. I think that friendly bump on the 5 ball there gives him a safety, and the 6 and the 7 are blocking the path to the 3 ball. Okay, it looks like Carly's looking at maybe a 1 rail kick. She's actually been performing the measuring system rather well, even in these long conditions here. Let's see how close she might get, though. Because I think it's going to be a little short since she measured on that side of the side pocket. She definitely would have needed a little bit of right spin to open the angle back up. Because the split between the 2 looked like the side pocket was the actual midpoint in order to be able to get a good hit off of that. All right, so it looks like Brian's going to cut this into the right side. Not quite. I couldn't agree more, Trevor. That when you're in situations like this, like everybody should know and understand that pool can take a pretty good mental toll on a player in given matches here, especially when you're behind. Carly did unfortunately lose the first set 5-0, struggling a bit, but now doing much better in this set here because she's able to maintain herself. Very important thing that you be able to do, because it's really easy to just want to give up at some point, and you kind of just start going into give up stroke at that point. Might have just hit that just a little too hard. Otherwise, that would have been a nice safety. Now, I cannot tell if this 3-ball is makeable into the side pocket, but it looks like that's what Brian is going for. And it was. It was. He just overcut it just a little bit, caught the point of the side pocket. Leaves it actually pretty decent, though. She can see enough of the 3-ball? Let's find out. I have forgotten that I need to start bringing in the other view. I do have another view that I can show here, and I've been negligent on getting it to. Oh, she tried to make it with a kick shot.
Perfect online.
Eric, Carly and I do play in a league on 9-foot tables. We play at Skinny Bob's in Round Rock, Texas. That's the location that hosts the Texas Open every year, and it's a BCA 9-ball league. Brian comes more from the Belton Temple area, which is predominantly 7-foot table leagues there. Oh, that was a good attempt at an inside spin shot, going 3 rails to get position on the 5, but just unsuccessful at making the 3. Ooh, what a shot, but that 8-ball's getting pretty big there. That 8-ball's getting pretty big. Brian's going to try to kick behind the 5-ball from the short rail. Calls the 5-ball into the right side pocket. Nope, never mind. Now we're going to the long rail, calling the 5-ball into the bottom left corner pocket. Good hit. Ooh, Carly cutting that just a little too thin there. Just like earlier with Carly's 3-ball, we have an inside spin shot here, trying to catch the short rail just before the 5-ball and spin into it in order to try to cut it into the corner pocket. but not quite. I do believe Carly called the side pocket there. Is she going to try to bank it there or kick it there?
Oh, wrong side.
Almost got a double kiss there.
So that was like, that is definitely not weird.
Both pockets. No bueno.
Ryan calling for the right side pocket there, but banks it a little short. Does leave a shot at the top right corner pocket for Carly here. Nicely done. I actually really like the angle she has here on the 6 ball. It allows her to use the side rail to come back out towards the middle of the table and have some sort of position on the 7.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
What?
So it looks like she might have tried to stun the cue ball over to the rail. I probably would have just rolled the cue ball. It naturally is going to go into the rail anyway and just come out into the open. Brian here with an excellent safety. Is the 8 ball and the 10 ball blocking its path? Oh, looks like we might have a small bathroom break. So in the meantime, this allows everybody to see where I'm at. So when you're looking at the camera or the view that you have here, I'm directly behind the camera. And so in front of me, I have 2 soundproof blankets that are covering the entire wall that's in front of me here that muffles the sound going into the pool room. But like I said, tests that I've done is that you can hear me, but you have to focus hard enough to really make out what I'm saying if I'm talking low enough. But if I do talk high enough, then you would be able to make out what I'm saying. So, hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Back to the match. Oh, so she thinks she can see enough of it to where she calls the top right corner pocket. Is she going to swerve around the 8 at least? Oh, holy crap. What a shot! Oh my God! Wow! I'm pretty sure they can hear me now. What a shot! Look at the position we got on the 7 as well. Holy cow! Well, clearly she made the 7 ball. We just didn't get to see her shoot it. A nice long shot here on the 8 ball. Oh, kick shot. Here we go. Uh-oh. I got to start to wonder if fatigue is starting to settle in. This is another thing that I think can benefit players. Usually, when you think about, you're just playing, one match. That once the match is over, then you can kind of just relax and just be refreshed. But when you're going from one match after another, after another, after another, that can be pretty physically tolling on you there, as well as mentally. Okay, this is a pretty decent shot here. Probably going to have to try to maybe draw the cue ball back slightly, and maybe you can shoot the 10 ball into the right side pocket. I do believe that's what he was trying. Overcuts the 9 ball into the side rail, though, but gets fortunate with this leave here, being separating the balls from one end of the table to the other. Nowadays, when I look at a shot like this is a shot that we got to see Joshua Filler do during a match where he banks the ball, but he banks it in such a way like this to where it hits this rail, comes over here and hits this rail, and then comes over here right to the side pocket. And the cue ball works its way back down table again to where, just in case the 9 ball misses the side pocket, it will go right back, almost right back to where it was, and the cue ball also returns right back to where it was as well. Okay, 9 ball down into the side pocket. Long shot here on the 10 ball.
Quarterback.
Oh, where's the cue ball going? Nicely done. Ryan retakes the lead 3-2. Okay, Carly up to break. So far with these exhibition matches, we have yet to see a third set. I think it would be really cool if we saw a third set this time. But we got to wait and find out.
It's usually the major X four is not that. Pretty good rack.
I'm skilled.
99% of the time.
I'm skilled at it apparently.
Oh, almost makes the 10 ball on the break, even though it wouldn't have
I
counted.
wanted to move.
Now, something I need to be better at doing is this. Oh, not that one. That's the wrong view. But we get to see a dual view here. What I really meant to go for was this. Showing you what the layout of the table looks like from up above shortly after the break. So we can see that Brian does have a clear shot at the 1 ball to go into the corner pocket, with the 2 ball being right next to it. A little bit of an overcut.
Oh, man.
You have to be quiet. Oh my goodness. My God. I'm going to start selling all those sharkers.
Thank you, Duggar. I actually have a webcam mounted above the table that has a 120-degree field of view, which is much better than the GoPro that I had in my old setup.
can take a nap.
All right, so good cut on the 1 ball there, but we didn't control our cue ball enough, and now it looks like we might be blocked by the 4 ball. Now you can see where he wanted it, and that positioning there tells me that he would wanted to play the 2 ball in the top right corner pocket. Whoops. When you look at the angle that the cue ball went into the rail, you would have at least expected for it to come towards that 2 ball, but it almost came right back at the angle that it went into the rail. That tells me that Brian must have had some unintentional right spin on the cue ball. So that's why you got to be careful when you're performing that final stroke that you actually deliver the cue straight to the target on the cue ball. So it's very common that sometimes that at the last second, our arm or our hands might tend to twitch or move off to one side, causing the tip of the cue to hit the cue ball in an undesired location. Oh, a little fortunate bump there from the 4 ball. And that is the called pocket. So it doesn't matter how it gets there. Carly still continues to shoot. Now, she doesn't really have a shot on the 4 ball here, so I would expect to see some type of safety maybe. So don't think she wanted the double kiss. It looks like she definitely wanted to try to at least bank the 4 ball on the other side of the 7 ball while leaving the cue ball pretty much where it's at. Oh no, unsuccessful with the 4 ball, but the cue ball finds its way to the side pocket. Yeah, this makes sense, Duggar. This does make sense. So in other words, because he's talking about when Brian was trying to kick at the 2 ball there. And so what Duggar's saying here is that he would intentionally have a little bit of left spin on the cue ball so that way you know the cue ball is going to go to the left. And that way there's no chance of a mistake happening to where you might accidentally put right spin. But knowing that you're going to put left spin on the cue ball, you would be kicking probably a little straighter into the rail. Oh, good attempt there. Just a bit of an undercut. So, are we going to run into that 10 ball or not? Not quite. We do free up the 6 ball, though. Now, Carly's play style would pretty much make the 5 or try to make the 5. And the cue ball will just roll like this. And so eventually you want to start getting to a point to where you can get your cue ball to kind of stun over to the rail, and then you spin to go to the other side of the 7 like this. Now she tried to stun into it, so maybe that's what she was trying to do as well. So that way she can have some sort of shot on the 6 ball. So that is actually really good. Really thin cut shot here. Let's watch the cue ball go from side to side, and will it stop on the good side? Oh, wow. Did she overcut it? She overcut the ball.
And
It's a little fortunate there with the 10 ball blocking the path of the cue ball. Definitely think you have to one rail kick like this just to have a chance. The only thing you don't want to happen, though, is hit the 6 ball square in the face and have the cue ball follow right in after it. With the 7 ball being where it's at and that 9 ball being there, it's really difficult to try to catch the rail before the 6 ball so the cue ball has a chance to spin out. Yeah, see, that's very likely to happen because you really do want to try to maybe just catch the rail ever so slightly. And so that way you get like this kind of effect here. So the 6 ball goes in and the cue ball will just kind of automatically spin its way out like that. But with that 9 ball being there, that makes it so much more difficult. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point, Doug. Or maybe 3 rails would have been more appropriate because that means your cue ball would be approaching the 6 ball like this, and you would automatically go out this way if you make a successful hit. That's a really good point. Carly's struggling with what to do here. She's more than likely probably going to try to draw the cue ball out of the rail, not really seeing that if she just places her cue ball where she can reach it, she can do a natural 3-railer out of the corner. Yeah, very difficult to control a shot like that, especially since she was kind of stretched over the table. Well, that's the reason for these types of matches. So that way these players can learn that kind of stuff, as well as the viewers. If there's any viewers that are watching that are of similar Fargo skill. That's one of the main things that I want these types of matches to be able to provide. Right, so Carly must have thought that she can shoot in between the 10 and the 9 in order to be able to make the 7 or hit the 7, but was unsuccessful, hitting the 10 ball first, giving Brian ball in hand.
Stay down until it's like in the ball return.
Exactly.
Brian elects to take a long shot here on the 9 ball. If he's successful at making this, he's probably going to leave himself a back cut shot on the 10 ball. Oh, Carly looking at the bank. Just a little too wide. So Duggar, Carly and I do play on a 9-foot 9-ball league. at Skinny Bob's, where Brian plays primarily on 7-foot tables with the leagues that he plays in. You know, Trevor, I was actually wondering that myself, if Brian intentionally overcut the 9-ball the way that he did and landed it on the end rail. It is quite possible. Fenden, I'm not sure what I think your question might be, but you might be asking, is 415 too much higher than 385? For 30 points, I don't think so. Generally speaking, I think maybe 50 points might be too wide of a gap. 100 points would definitely be too wide of a gap. I would not want there to be a 100-point difference between the two players. But 50 and below, I think is a little manageable. So loving the interaction, everybody here. Keep it coming. Oh no, Brian tries to take the 9-ball into the corner pocket and scratches.
Yeah.
This gives Carly a great opportunity to try to tie the match up. What is she going to do here? Definitely think you got to go for this corner pocket here. That's what she's doing. Just play a stop shot. That way you can kind of just roll the 10-ball into the opposite pocket. There we go. Nicely done.
I know. I don't know what that was, but I hit it and I was like, I just be stepping at it like I normally do.
I think you're just going to softly roll this one in. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, she had an angle. We are all tied up 3-3. This is what we want to see, folks. This is what we want to see. Okay, rack number 7. Brian up to break. So with this moment here, I want to take an opportunity to thank all of my sponsors that you see marquee scrolling around up here in the upper right corner pocket. If you check down in the description box of the stream, you'll find all the information about my sponsors and potential discount codes that I might have. If you see any text at the bottom of the marquee like this, that is the discount code that is applied. As you can see, TaomBilliards here. I don't have a discount code, but they do sponsor the stream. Or they do sponsor my channel because I do use their tips, I do use their gloves, and I do use their chalk. But check down in the description box below for all my discount codes for each one of my sponsors here. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all this time. I do plan on having some product reviews coming up here in the near future for each one of my sponsors. Yeah, but we can probably also chalk that up to with the way that their racks have been going, that when they try to get better position, they end up missing the shot. And so where do you balance it, right? To where like you can increase your accuracy at making the shot by trying to hit the shots a little bit softer, knowing that you're going to end up being in positions where either the ball's not going to roll a whole lot and you might have to stretch across the table like you're talking about, or you're going to be left with a long shot like we've been seeing on a couple of these. Looks like we might have had an accidentally moved ball after moving the template rack. So a lot of times, like when I used to play APA, and I would have the lower skill level players play that way, to where their main focus is to just make the ball with a soft rolling cue ball hit, so that way they can study where that cue ball goes and where it stops. And then hopefully what that does is, over the course of time, you start to realize, well, if I shoot this shot this softly, the cue ball is most likely going to end up in a spot, and I'm not going to be able to see the next object ball. So therefore, I would hopefully know, let me try to hit just a little bit harder just to get the cue ball to move a couple of more inches, and hopefully I'll have a shot next time. And that's still pretty much a philosophical way that I tell beginning pool players to play, because it's not all about just making the ball. You got to know where the cue ball is going to go, so that way you know whether or not if you had a shot. And it looks like we had a cat sighting there. A Zelda cat decided to make a cameo appearance, and now the dogs are going to be chasing him and barking all over the place. Now, it looks like Carly's electing to play a 1-4 combination. I'd be more than likely to play a safety here. Okay, it looks like Brian was attempting to do another safety where we banked the one ball to the other side of the cluster. Carly now with a great opportunity to try to play safe here and hook the cue ball behind the 7 and the 9. Let's see if she sees it. She does not. Notice how she calls the bank to the lower right corner pocket. Cue ball might end up being safe as it goes to the upper portion of the table. Oh, but what a bank shot. And she has position on the 2 ball. What a shot. What am I talking about? Why bother playing safe when you can do stuff like this, huh? Look at that. Nice and clean. Doesn't touch the rail on the way in. Oh, but we just caught the shot on the 2 ball and we were unsuccessful. Hey, Brian overcutting that ball quite a bit there. I would probably suggest at this point that he needs to slow down a little bit, make sure that he's really trying to sight his aim while he's standing, observing the shot before he gets down and actually goes through his practice strokes and then actually strikes the ball. Ooh, Carly trying out with a safety here. Might have gotten it. Is everybody enjoying the dogs as they're about to start fighting right in the middle of the street? And that's Tetra over there trying to warm up to Mom, saying, "I'm sorry. I'm just trying to have fun." Oh, good shot there. A little bit of draw there gives her a better position on the 3 ball. I don't think she'll scratch from this angle. If the cue ball was maybe a diamond further over, oh, maybe she doesn't like the angle. If she attempts to go to that corner pocket, she's definitely scratching from there. Okay, so she does decide to call the side. And we do have a cat sighting. All 3 animals out in the open. So I do think she's safe from the scratch here in the bottom left corner pocket. It's that a little too hard, though. but still a good make. Cue ball's working its way back towards the middle of the table. She'll be able to see the 4 ball, so this is at least a decent shot. Okay, gets away with the safety there. This is looking good, folks. We've got a match going on right now. We've got a match. And we've got animal entertainment at the same time. Oh, good try there. Just barely missing the kick. I do believe Carly's going to have to play a 4-7 combination. There you go. You just saw the cat take off, and then the dogs went chasing after him. What I can't tell with this 4-7 combination is if the 4 ball is cutting the 7 ball in. Because if it is, that means the 4 ball is going to go over. Whoops, wrong tool. That means the 4 ball is going to go over here. And never mind, it was a straight flat end hit. So Carly should have looked at it just a little bit longer to make sure that she knew that, and therefore she could have just held the cue ball here and shot the 4 ball into the same pocket. But now again, here's that safety, right? But you see, she calls this because it doesn't appear that she sees this, where she can get the cue ball over here and bank the 4 ball down over here. This is what you can expect to see at this skill level, where some players can look at that and say, like, isn't the safety kind of obvious? And to some extent, yeah. But for other players, it's not so obvious. So are we going to go for a 5-10 combination? I do believe that's what we tried. Okay, good attempt there, going for the upper left corner pocket. Just hit it just a little too straight, right into the side rail. Okay. Carly's going to try to cut this 5 ball into the side pocket. Question is the cue ball going to run into the 6 ball? Don't you think that would be a good piece of information to know, so that way you know whether or not if you might end up with a situation like this? Because it could have been a whole lot worse. But this turned out really good, because now she can try to shoot the 6 here, have her cue ball come over to the rail, and hopefully come back out for position on the 8. Look at this. What a shot. Now, if she can just Happy Gilmore this and go, just tap it in, Happy. Just tap it in. Maybe just a little softer. We're still good though. The shot's makeable. We're still good. She could have hit that one a whole lot softer. Oh no, she wanted to hit that a whole lot harder. She wanted to hit that a whole lot harder. This has been such a great run. If only we can end it with a bridged, one rail, long table bank shot into the bottom left corner pocket. There we go. She's called it. She's trying to measure it all out. I want to say that the angled hit has to look something like this. I think that's about right. Halfway in between those two diamonds there. Got to hit this kind of firm. That's a little too wide. 10 ball's going to work its way out towards the middle of the table, leaving a fairly straight shot for Bryant. Let's see how he does here. Oh no! Carly now with an opportunity to get on the hill. See, me personally, I would prefer shots like this. Maybe not as thin of a cut, but my point being is that all I have to do is focus on making the ball. I know the cue ball is going to go to the short rail. I don't have to worry about spinning the ball or doing anything of the sorts. I don't have to worry about scratching, nothing. All my focus gets to go into making the ball, just like how Carly did, and she is now on the hill. How many of y'all want to see a third set now? Right, bit of a rough start there at the beginning there for Carly, losing the first set 5-0, but now with a chance here to take us into a third set. This is what we want to see. What's going on, poolside chat? All right, rack 8 underway. Okay, it looks like this one was a dry break. You know, that's a really good question for regular guys. When it comes to judging based off of your Fargo skill, Brian being a 415 and Carly being a 385. There's this notion that I think that just basically also just exists in sports in general, to where, you know, every player has the ability to play so far above their skill and so far below their skill, all just depending upon, you know, how they're actually handling themselves. And so really, even though we're looking at a 30-point difference here in Fargo, I think we're just about dead even, right? And so it really just comes down to the moment of what could happen just like how we saw in the first set. Carly wasn't performing very well. Might have been the jitters from playing on stream and stuff, and lost the first set 5-0. But now here she seems pretty well settled into her. It's pretty well settled into herself and is doing rather well now that she's on the hill. And because of that, is that now taking a mental toll on Brian? And that's actually causing him to maybe second guess himself or anything of the sorts. Who knows? So really, I think in this particular matchup, I don't really think that there's a true underdog. I think it's pretty well even. We just got to know which one is actually going to rise to the occasion and just take it all down. This game is so funny, and there could be so many different momentum swings that can happen in the course of a match. And that's really kind of what you want, though, right? You want the momentum to swing in your favor, and then you want to hold it as long as possible. Because one shot, one rack, one lucky shot can just switch it right back to the other side. Okay, Brian looking pretty good here on this one.
8, 10.
I am curious about the 8 ball, though, as it sits there in the template rack with the 10 ball. I don't even think they're going to be able to move the template rack. Yeah. So we can make the 6 ball, we can make the 7 ball, but then what do we do with the 8? Yeah, I like the way this is. This is a great point, Gregory. It says, it all depends on the mental makeup. With a good mindset, it's a better chance that someone will play up. Very, very true. Than play down. All right, moment of truth here. Because making the 7 ball, sure, but then what do you do with the 8 ball? Looks like he might have been trying to go for the breakout. And I've talked about that earlier about when you put emphasis on what would be the secondary objective, right? The primary objective is making the ball. Secondary objective would be transitioning your cue ball to get position on the next ball, or in this case, break the 8 ball away from the 10. And sometimes you can put too much emphasis on that secondary objective that you miss the primary objective.
Oh, apparently I decided to cut it.
So I'm starting to see, I think both players are starting to speed up a little bit. I would definitely suggest that they slow down. Hey, thanks a lot, David. Both of the dogs are miniature schnauzers. It's, one boy and one girl. The boy is the older brother. He's going to be turning 3 here, I think, in a couple of weeks. His name is Link, and his younger sister is named Tetra. They're both named after Zelda characters. And I say brother and sister because they do come from the same parents, just different litters. And then my older sister actually has their older sister. So within my immediate family, we do have 3 generations of, or not, 3 siblings of miniature schnauzers. Now, I think it would be to Carly's favor if she starts seeing safeties like that a little bit better, where you intentionally bank the 8 ball over here and then put your cue ball down towards the other end of the table. Now, this could work as well. Carly has an opportunity to take the match down. This looks like she might need the bridge. I don't think I would try to shoot this stretched. Well, let's see how she does. Yeah, I think I would have taken the bridge out for that one to make sure that you're squared right up with the shot and not kind of looking out the side of your eye. Hey, there we go. Oh, but I think that bump was just a little too hard, but that was a good attempt at a safety there. What is Carly going to do? She's been playing rather aggressive, and so I can totally see her trying to bank this into the cross side maybe. And that's what she's measuring up for. At this angle, this is probably one where you have to hit this kind of firm to make sure that the outbound angle is shortened as much as possible. So what she's doing there is that there would be a line that looks like this, and where the two lines crossed, that she used her cue, she's going to bank the 8-ball into the rail right there. Holy cow, what a shot! That's the power of the measuring system. Let's see it even with all my drawings that I'm trying to do there. Look at that, nicely done. Good position on the 9-ball. Oh, but unsuccessful. I gotta figure out a way to where I don't know, like if what a lucky roll though. I don't know if I can try to find a way to where I can put the instant replay up while the action is going on so you can see both at the same time, or is the way that I have it just fine to where there's a possibility we're going to miss the current shot, so that way we can observe the instant replay. Haven't quite figured all that out just yet. Oh, what a good kick. What a good kick. That does come out to be safe. It looks like it is behind the 10-ball. Carly's definitely going to have to kick to the side rail in order to hit the 9. Look at that. She's looking at trying to curve around the 10-ball. Ooh, here we go. Does she know how to do this? Nope, that's not quite right. So you saw she put her, when she laid her cue down this way, she put her fingers down right here and then pulled the tip back to the rail, thinking that where her fingers end up is where she needs to kick. Her fingers actually should have started here, right on the rail, before she pulled the cue back. That system is what's called doubling the distance, in order to be able to determine figuring out where you got to kick on the side rail in order to make a good hit on the 9-ball. So she kicked behind the 9-ball, so she actually kicked a little too far up the rail, which even with the mistake in the measurement, I would have, since she did not place her fingers in the right location, I would have expected that she would have actually missed on the other side. And we are all tied up. So 22 Stewart, with the way that I currently have it set up, is I just do a fast key combination on my keyboard, because currently what's happening is that every few seconds a replay is getting buffered, and so with the moment I hit the fast key combo on my keyboard, then the replay is clipped, and then therefore it can actually be shown. And so in order to do what you're describing, where I can do the replay later, then I would have to have it to where it just cuts the clip, but then I have to go manually show it. And so the way I have it set up is to where once I input the keyboard command, that everything would just happen automatically. So, but I can definitely take your suggestion into consideration. It's just that, like I haven't been doing already, where I'm not switching to the overhead view enough because I have to manually do that. So it just takes practice for me, more practice for me to get more familiar with how I want the stream to be structured in switching cameras, playing instant replays, etc., etc. Because right now, if I were to do a clip right now, then more than likely we would have a clip of just Brian racking, and that would be the instant replay. Because the moment I issue the command, it's taking like the last 10 seconds from the moment I hit the command, and that creates the replay. So I can certainly clip the replay and have it not play automatically, but then I have to remember to play it manually. So Brian does make the 9 ball on the break, but loses control of the cue ball. We do have a scratch. And boy, wouldn't you just love it if early 10 balls counted? Wouldn't you just love it?
For you, I think.
All right, so with ball in hand, let's see what Carly's going to try to do. We've got a hill thriller here. How many of y'all want to see a third set and are rooting for Carly? Nice little stop shot there. We got a nice tap shot to go into the side. 3 goes into the opposite side. 4 goes into the right side. This almost looks like a trill that you would do. Oh, I think he hit that just a little too hard, but this is still manageable. This is still manageable. Because now the trick is going to be hitting this soft enough to where when the cue ball comes up, it doesn't get hooked behind the 5 ball, which would be like right around here. You got to get the cue ball to stop right around here, which I don't think is possible with as far as of a hit that she's going to have to do. What up, Craig? Good to see you, man. You know what I might do? I think what I might do is I might allow the instant replay to pop up like right around here, and that way it doesn't cover up the action. And you can see, you have the option of viewing the replay while viewing the action at the same time. What do y'all think of that? Because I think I got plenty of space over here that I've circled here that I can get the instant replay to pop up. I might play around with that for next time. Okay, good shot with the 3 ball going down into the side pocket. Brian elects to take the 4 ball into the bottom right corner pocket. Oh, what a shot. Good control of the cue ball. Looks like we have position for the 5 in the lower right corner. Cue ball is going to be heading in between that 6 and the 10, which is pretty much where he wants to land. Gregory, I'm using OBS, the open broadcast software. I've been using that for since the beginning. When it comes to even recording my videos that I post on YouTube as well as live streaming. Uh-oh. We're going to get a little lucky, just like we did. Coming down to the last 4 balls. Duggar, you have no idea. I actually recently updated OBS, and like 5 of my plugins no longer worked. So I know exactly what you mean by that. And so far, I think only 2 of the plugins have been updated. So they're working again, but I'm still waiting for the other 3 to get updated. Oh, are we going to get lucky again? Now, we might be able to hit the 6 ball and call the 10, so that way we can still stay at the table. If we hit this soft enough, so that way the 6 ball kind of works its way to the bottom right corner pocket, and we'll have a shot at it. That's a little too hard, but the 10 ball doesn't drop. What a try, though.
That shove is still there.
This last rack has got to be grueling for both of them. Brian wants it so badly so he can be the winner of the match. Carly wants it so badly so she has an opportunity to go into the 3rd set and win the entire match. Oh, where's the 6 ball going to end up? A little friendly bump from the 7. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, not enough cut. We're going to end up okay, though. Well, now we have a combo that we can play on the 10 ball.
I might just hit the rail 3 diamonds off.
What a shot. Okay, we have decent position on the 6. This looks like, oh, I don't know if that 10 ball is going to come into play or not. Oh, wrong tool. This looks like you have to cut this thin enough to where you get your cue ball to do something like this, avoid the 10 ball and avoid scratching, and then come back over here for the 7 in the same corner. Don't scratch. Oh, what did I say? What did I say? Oh no, that is so unfortunate. With ball in hand and 3 balls left on the table, Brian has an opportunity to take the match. Let's see what he decides to do here. Ooh, I don't know about this. if anything, Brian should probably put his cue ball like right around here. So that way he can cut the ball in like this. And then with a bit of top right spin, you go into the rail and you spin back out this way and get on the other side of the side pocket. So that way you don't have to worry about scratching. And then you can try to figure out how you're going to maneuver from the 8 to the 9. I'm not favorable for this anymore because stunning the ball or drawing the ball is just a little difficult, or it's more difficult to control landing in a decent position. All right, let's see if Brian can cut this all the way to the top right corner. Oh, catches the point. Where's it going to end up? All right, not bad. I think this might be cuttable. It's not easy, and what I would be worried about is that right there. That's what I would be worried about. What you would want is for the cue ball to come down like this, and then maybe just come back up so that way you can shoot the 10, maybe into the side pocket. Let's see what happens. She's going for it. Oh, she just caught the short rail. Did not cut it enough. Look at that. We have shape for the 10 in the side pocket.
Wow.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see what can happen here, though. It's very easy that when the ball is in the pocket like this, you would think you would want to try to power your way out of the corner. And what basically tends to happen is that your cue ball hits the 8 and like hits the rail, comes out, and then just sinks right back into the rail like this. Brian elects to go for a rail first shot, so that way that doesn't happen. So that was smart. And then here we go for the match. Oh man, this is what you hate to see, is when you watch your cue ball do that. Bit of an overcut here. Where's everything going to end up? All right. Carly's just got to come with it. We got a chance for a third set here. Oh no. Oh no. This could be it, folks. This could be it. And with that 10 ball, Brian takes the match, winning the second set 5-4. Let me go out and see if I can get a post-match interview from the players.
Rough shots.
Yeah.
It's just.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
What a finish, guys.
Yeah.
Brian, let me borrow you here for a second. Let's do a post-game interview. You've been on my channel before when we did that interview like many years ago.
Yeah.
Now, as a pool player, I think it's very easy to say that you've played in matches, you've played in league matches, you've played in tournament matches,
Yep.
you've been
Like
in a match before, right?
Yeah.
Is it any different being in a match when there's a camera pointing at you?
Not. I mean, yes and no. Like, you know it's there, but you try to block it out and you just focus on the game. It's different because you're in one room,
Right.
Compared to like pool halls, where you
Right.
have multiple tables, a lot of people, and you may have a live stream, but like at Skinny Bob's, they have the live stream table. But you still got all these open tables, all these people. You got a lot of stuff. This, you got nobody. You got nothing. You just on talking to your opponent.
Right.
So that in that aspect, it's different because you're like, you understand that it's just you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the only aspect that kind of is, it was just trying to focus on the game. And
would you say that did that play into your performance? Because from what I observed, you started off really strong in that first set, and then things kind of just started struggling a little bit, but you managed to pull it together to be able to take down the second set.
That's basically my MO, my game lately or throughout. I'm trying to build where I'm strong, but then I still have the issue where, and that's the part of the game that I've got to build up is to stay consistent throughout matches.
Okay, well, cool. Well, thank you so much for being here, man. I really do appreciate it. Carly, come join me on camera. Well, that was a much better performance in the second set there. Can you kind of walk us through like what do you think happened there? What was the difference between the first set and the second set?
I was definitely less nervous in the second set than I was the first set.
Okay.
And I kind of settled in a bit more.
Okay.
And I stopped. I started just going ball for ball instead of trying to run a table out.
Okay.
That wasn't working.
So, but what do you mean by going ball for ball? What does that mean?
Like I was just gonna make the shot and then deal with the cue ball wherever decided to lay.
Okay, so just more emphasizing on the shot, trying to make sure that your cue ball is not going to scratch, but wherever it's going to end up, you're just going to play for the next shot. Well, I think it's clear to say that strategy did at least play a good part, allowing you to get to the hill first, but just unfortunate that you weren't able to close it out. Now, this is the second time you've at least been on stream because, what was it, a few years ago when you did that little training session with Demetrius. Guys, knock it off. Can you describe what's your feeling of playing on a stream match? Because you've been on a stream before with like APA matches and stuff like that because you've been to Vegas before. But is this any different? Is it the same? Is it worse as in more pressure? Like, let the viewers know.
I think there was nothing different about it. I think it was maybe easier at Demi because it was more of an instructional thing. So he was telling me what to do, whereas this is figure out what to do.
Right.
I don't have any outside help, but the being on camera doesn't bother me.
Okay. Well, everybody was rooting for a third set. Believe it or not.
I was like, oh my god.
Like, the way we were missing, I was like, they're probably gone.
I know, like towards the thing, I was like especially I don't remember what rack was when each of us had like 5 shots in the temple. I was like, everyone's gone.
There was only one viewer that was disrespectful on the first half of the stream. I kicked them out immediately, but just from what I can tell, everybody was enjoying it. Everybody loved all the great shots that both of y'all were able to pull out, and then the suspenseful ending, I think, really brought it together. So
we had a lot of safe.
Yeah,
that's what I was.
So the first time playing 10 ball, I'm actually pretty pleased with how I survived.
Well, good. I think both of y'all should be pleased with the match here.
Looking forward to seeing the review on it.
I know.
So there you go. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. That's pretty much going to wrap things up for today. So be sure, though, to check out the video that I just published this morning here, where I'm talking about a 9-ball layout and the different ways that I would possibly run this out. And then I do have another exhibition match coming up here, I think in the next week or two in November, because I do try to do these once a month. And it's looking like I'm going to get back in the ring.
Oh,
so
man.
stay tuned for that match as I will advertise it here soon. And for all of you out there, take care of yourself.
So this probably up to something? Yeah. God, someone's right here. What is going down downstairs?